Today's English word is drawl. Drawl. Now, as you listen to the story, see if you can guess the meaning of the word. It was about 6:30 in the evening, and as Kathy's mom was in the kitchen preparing dinner, she could hear the door being opened. She turned and she saw her daughter Kathy walking through the door. She said, "Hey, baby, how was your first day of work?" Kathy said, "Hey, Mom, I had a great day at work today. My coworkers were amazing. I liked my new project and everything went well." Now, Kathy's mom could tell by the sound of her daughter's voice that something else happened. So she stopped cutting up the vegetables and she looked at Kathy again and said, "Kathy, now I need you to tell me what really happened at work today." And Kathy slowly smiled and said, "Mom, you know me so well." She said, "Yes, baby, you're my daughter." So Kathy continued. She said, "Well, Mom, I was going to wait until Dad got home, but I'll tell you first." She said, "Mom, I really like my coworkers, but there's one guy. Now, his name is Carl, and Mom, I'll be honest, Carl, he's handsome." Kathy's mom said, "Okay, continue." Kathy said, "Mom, Carl is very handsome, and everyone seems to like Carl. And I think Carl might like me, if you know what I mean, Mom." And Kathy's mom said, "Oh, I know what you mean." So Kathy continued. She said, "So when I saw Carl and Carl saw me, I could tell that there was an immediate connection. So Carl approached me and he looked at me and I said, 'Hello.' And then Carl started speaking." And Kathy's mom said, "Okay, was there a problem?" Kathy said, "Mom, I don't know what he was saying." She said, "What do you mean, Kathy?" Kathy continued. She said, "Mom, he spoke with the southern drawl, so I couldn't really understand everything he was saying sometimes. His speech was a little slower. He's a smart guy, but the way he was speaking was a little bit difficult for me to understand." Kathy's mom said, "Okay, continue. How was he speaking?" So Kathy said, "Okay, Mom, I'll try." She said, "Mom, he said, 'Hey, it's nice to meet ya.'" And Kathy said, "Mom, I understood that part." But he continued, and the more he spoke, it kind of was like his words were spreading out, and his accent made it really hard to understand him. Now, I was smiling because he was smiling, but Mom, his southern drawl was a little bit too strong for me. And Kathy looked at her mom and noticed that she was smiling. And she said, "Mom, why are you smiling?" And Kathy's mom said, "Do you know why I'm smiling, Kathy?" She said, "No, Mom, I don't." She said, "Kathy, where am I from?" And she said, "Mom, you're from Georgia." She said, "Yeah, in the South, right?" And she said, "Yes, Mom, but you don't have a southern drawl, like you don't have that accent." She said, "You sound like you're from, New York or Washington, D.C. or somewhere kind of northeast." And Kathy's mom suddenly started speaking again with a different accent. She started speaking with the southern drawl. She said, "Baby, now before I moved here, I didn't sound like this." And Kathy said, "Mom, you sound like Carl." And Kathy said, "Yes, baby, I used to speak with the southern drawl as well, and I still can. Depending on where you live in America, you'll sound different. So be patient. You'll understand Carl's accent soon enough." And Kathy smiled and said, "Okay, Mom, okay. Again, he's handsome. He's a nice guy. I'll make an effort to understand his southern drawl. To be honest, it sounded nice. I just didn't know what he was saying at first." So, do you know what the word drawl means? All right, so let me tell you. Drawl, this word just means a slow way of speaking. It literally just means a slow way of speaking. And many people in America have a drawl or speak with a drawl. It's not wrong or anything. It's just a different way of speaking. And again, many different states, people from different states speak like this. So again, a slow way of speaking. Now, I need you to understand how to pronounce this word. But before I explain this pronunciation, I need you to remember to get your copy of the Daily English Vocabulary Package number 7. It includes audio files, worksheets, and so much more to help you learn this word and so many other words to help you sound more like a native English speaker. So go to www.studywithtiffani.com. All right, so let me show you and explain to you how to pronounce this word properly. So, drawl. You can tell at the end there's this aw sound, right? So, I want to emphasize the AW portion of the word, aw. Now, what you need to do is think about dropping your chin down as far as possible. Okay, so again, your mouth, you want to think about dropping your jaw. That's right, as low as you possibly can. Imagine it's going all the way to the floor. Oh, good. Imagine seeing something amazing and you go, oh, you drop your chin, you drop your jaw. That's how you make the sound properly. Again, after me, oh. Excellent. Now remember the L real quick, the L sound at the end of the word. Remember to make the L sound properly. All you're going to do is make sure your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. So L. Excellent. So together, all. Excellent. Now after me, the entire word. Here we go after me. Drawl. Excellent. Last time, drawl. Great job. Now you know how to pronounce the word properly. So let me give you an example sentence using this word. Here's the example sentence. She spoke in a southern drawl. Yes, again, she spoke in a southern drawl. So now you know how to pronounce the word, how to use it, and you have seen an example sentence. So try to use the word at least one time today, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.